Hello folks, and welcome back to Space Ballz Game Development. This is Tiny Games Lab, and this is part 5, Advanced Game Coding. That's hopefully the last part of the tutorial series. So the objectives for this part are to advance in the game coding, to have player die, to have increasing difficulty, and coins and scores, and a basic HUD. So let's head to Game Maker. First thing, I'm gonna add a new sprite coin. I'm going to load the images, the assets that we have done in the last tutorial. So just give me 1 second to find them. There you go. You're gonna see that this is just half a flip. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate the second and third frames, move them around, and I have to flip them around also. So the coin does a 360 rotation. So there you go. Just flipping the frames around, and there you go. So now you'll be able to see that the coin does a 360 rotation. Also, I'm gonna set precise collision checking. I'm just checking the mask, looks good, okay. So second thing is I'm gonna change the sprite mouse to my enemy. There you go, also centered. And for the collision checking, I'm gonna use an ellipse, just to make things easier on my computer. So I'm gonna create a new object, that's gonna be our object coin. Object coin will have a timer, that's a 150 frames timer, that's so the coin starts shrinking as the time goes by. And also I'm doing a do until loop, this to make sure that the coin does not touch any object when it spawns. So I'm setting a new X position, it's going to be a random range between the room width, the 0 and room width. I'm just adding 30 to have a little border, and also a new Y position. Okay. I'm gonna set my X and my Y position to these two values. And now I'm gonna check if I'm actually colliding with something. First thing I'm going to check if I'm within a circle of 200 pixels from the player. I don't want it to spawn too close to the player. So I'm gonna check my X and Y values against the player X and Y values on a 200 radius. And then I'm gonna check my distance to other objects, such as the object enemy, the object mouse, that's my enemy, and I want to be at least 30 pixels away from that. So this loop is gonna run until it finds a suitable position for my player to spawn. Okay, I changed my sprite to sprite coin, and during this step, what I'm going to do, I'm gonna decrease my timer. And if my timer goes below 0, I'm gonna destroy my instance and create a new instance of the object coin. Sorry. Okay, there you go. So instance create. I'm gonna create a -30 outside of the screen and the object coin, and then with the create code, it's gonna be moving towards a suitable place. On the draw event, what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw the coin shrinking as the time goes by, so I'm going to use draw sprite extension. I'm going to use my own sprite, my own sub image, X and Y locations. Scale is going to be the timer divided by 150, so as the time goes by, my timer goes low and starts shrinking. So everything else I'm going to set up as default, and that should make the coin shrink as the game goes by. So for the object player, I'm going to just switch some variables like rotation speed and maximum charge and charge add, just to make things smoother for the player. And I'm going to add a live state for the player, so the player starts the game as alive. Then on my step event, I'm just only going to rotate my thruster and charge my power if the player is alive, so I'm going to add this alive condition. Okay, so when I hit my enemy, I still bounce, but I'm gonna set alive to false and set my alarm to 60. So I'll have maybe 2 seconds to restart the game. So when the alarm goes to 0, I'm going to restart the game. I'm going to set my high score to 0, or sorry, set my higher score to the score that I'm actually have on my screen right now. We don't have any score right now, but we're gonna change that in a little bit. And I'm gonna set my score to 0. So I'm resetting my score and setting my high scores. Okay, also I'm going to start my score as 0, when the player spawns, so just make sure that it is 0 when the game restarts. And whenever I hit the object coin, so this is object collision, I'm going to increase my score by 1. I'm going to destroy the coin, so destroy the other, and I'm gonna spawn a new coin. Sorry, instance create -30 object coin. So in this way, whenever I hit the coin, I'm gonna create a new coin to go to it, but I'm also going to create a new object bounce, that's my enemy, and this will increase difficulty as the game goes by, because those objects will only disappear when the game restarts. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy my create event for the object coin, and I'm gonna paste it for the object bounce. This will make that I won't have 2 object bounces spawning on top of each other. Also, I'm going to add an object general. That's where I'm going to add my HUD. First, I'm going to use this Lovelo font for my HUD. Lovelo black, okay. Size 60, maybe too big, but let's see. Okay, so for this object general, first thing is I'm gonna set my font to this font Lovelo. And now I'm gonna start my drawing events. I'm gonna do draw begin. That's when I'm going to do drawing my background. I don't want to use the depth for that, because I just want to use one object. It's a little bit simpler. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to first set my color to a purple. Do purple. That looks good. 103, 65, 114. And I'm gonna draw a rectangle that fills the screen, so from 0, 0 to room height and room width, and no border. So now what I'm going to do, I'm gonna draw a little gradient circle in the middle of the screen. This will lighten a little bit the background. So I want to set my blend mode to something like additive. I tried some things around, and this blend mode does look good. The source alpha, then the blend mode 1. Then I'm gonna draw a circle color, so it's gonna be centered within room width and room height. Okay, the radius will be the maximum between room height and room width, and the color, I wanted to go from a dark gray to black, and also no outline. So there you go, there you go, you can see it's centered. It has a radius of half of the room height or room width, and goes from dark gray to black. And then I'm setting my blend mode back to normal. Okay, and now I'm gonna draw the HUD. I'm using draw end. You could use draw goo or something like that, but I just used draw end, it was simpler. So first I'm gonna have a string that's called score, and it will be score plus my actual score number. And then I'll have a new string that's age score, that's best score, and I'll add my topmost high score number. Okay, so that will be achieved by getting the high score value position number 1. I'll set my draw color to light yellow gold, so 250, 190, 88 looks good. And I'll draw text. I'll first draw my score to the left side of the screen, and I'll draw my high score to the right top side of screen. So I'm going to use room width minus 60 pixels, that's a margin, minus the width of this string. So I know I'm not going to get out of screen by doing that. And this looks good. I'm just gonna set up my room to be a little bit bigger so we can see the effects. I'm gonna delete all these guys. I have to add the new ones, so I'll add the general object and the coin. And with that, we should be good to go. Let's test it. Okay. So you can see I have my coin rotating. Whenever I hit it, I get a new object bounce, the new enemy on screen, and the coin changes place. If I don't hit it quick enough, it will shrink and disappear. So the game will increase difficulty as you go by, because you're gonna have more and more enemies on the screen that you have to avoid, and if you're not quick enough, you won't score anything. So you need to take some risks to play the game well. It's quite hard sometimes, but it's nice to play. Oops. Let me try this again, and there you go. Got 1 coin. And you can see it's a very nice game mechanic. It's working pretty well. If you guys liked this tutorial and this tutorial series, please click on that like button. If you want to follow up my next tutorials or videos, please hit that subscribe button, and if you want to be notified anytime I publish a video, please click on that bell button. Thank you, and see you next.